long game is having assets that sit out on the web while you're sleeping, while you're on vacation, while you're at work. They're making you money day in, day out. What's up, bro?
All right. Hey, man. So I got started last night, and
Sweet.
yeah, my question is, like, taking a look at maybe the first 3 months and then 6 months, like, how am I going to highly leverage my time? So I have about, on top of my full-time job, about 20 hours a week that I can dedicate.
Okay. What's your
How am I
full-time
going to
job?
highly leverage my time? My full-time job?
Yeah.
Admissions representative for a university.
Okay. So you're sales.
Yeah.
I like it.
So how am I going to highly leverage my time, and like what goals should I set over the first 3 months and then maybe 6 months to really set myself up for success?
Okay. Well, a few little pieces of information I need to know. Number one, do you have a surplus of money left over at the end of every month, or not a surplus?
Yeah, a little bit, not a ton, but some.
Okay. So generally that surplus, is that a savings generally, or is that like a vacation surplus? And you kind of like, how do you run your life?
Yeah, it would normally go to savings, some maybe like 50 to savings, and then 50 to other things.
50?
Maybe, yeah, 50-50, yeah.
50-50? Okay.
Yeah.
And those other things historically, what has the other things been that you historically use that extra surplus for what's your what's the non-savings 50%?
Yeah, I mean, it would be trips, or like we were in a network marketing business that a lot of it would go to that.
Like, you mean like their auto ships and stuff like that and things?
Yeah, just monthly consumption of goods and things.
So is that gone now, or is that still?
That's gone now. That's gone. Yeah.
So now we got that money back, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I mean, obviously your largest leverage point is going to be the amount of I call them shoes on the shelf, but really it's just I work at Foot Locker, and I always make the saying of like, if I only had one pair of Jordans to sell, once it's gone, I can't have anything. Like, kind of no Foot Locker in history would ever be in business, right? Or any store for that matter. So we have to look at our businesses exactly the same as, like, we have a certain amount of products that we're going to produce specifically from this lead gen standpoint, right? And with those products, if I'm thinking about like lead gen properties, man, if once I ran out of inventory, man, I gotta have more being built, and I gotta have the time, up here going, okay, there's a process to it. You can't fake time. Like it's not gonna happen overnight. But if I look out 3 months from now for you, and I'm giving you advice now, my advice now would be, okay, double, triple down on getting through the process of getting, let's get 10 lead gen properties up, A through Z, like a production line, right? And then I think what you got to do, and again, I don't know the resources you have at your disposal, but what I do know is that you don't need tons of resources if you were able to put in that 20, 30 hours of labor, because I used to do this shit with no money. So that's when people jump in here and they're like, hey, I don't have the money to build lead gen. So I'm like, go do it yourself, right? Like, don't outsource it then, just until you get to that point. So I would have a set goal of how many shoes you're going to be basically putting into production each and every month. So whether that's 5 or that's 10, that what I do know is by month 3, you're going to have a lot of products on the shelf, right? And those things are going to start hitting. Those things are going to start getting leads coming in and that type of thing, depending on, the due diligence you did and what you did. So I think a lot of people, where they make the mistake is that they do their initial production. Let's say it's like 3 or 4 lead gen properties, and then they wait. And it's like, okay, call it 15 days, 30 days, 45 days. And then a lot of them will hit. And it's like, boom, the thing's generating leads. They go out there, they find the customer, or maybe they already had the customer like already basically on the hook. And then they're out of inventory. They sell through those couple, and then it's like, oh crap, I got to wait another 45 to 60 days, or maybe even 90 to the next batch hits. And so what happens is they get distracted, and they get distracted by other things that are faster, things that I can get more money quicker now. And what they do is they take their eye off the ball of the long game, which is what I'm trying to teach everyone in here. Is like, look, the long game is having assets that sit out on the web while you're sleeping, while you're on vacation, while you're at work, they're making you money day in, day out, right? Some might make you $200 a month. Some will make you $2,000 a month. But the bottom line is you're only as good as your last lead gen property you built. Once that thing is sold, it's back to production. So what people should be doing is they should be producing a certain amount of these things every month, and it never deviates from that. Now, it might go up in time. It might sometimes go down in time. You might have been too advantageous right off the bat, and you can't physically do all the work, and you don't have the capital to maybe outsource some of the extra optimization bullshit. But the bottom line is you need to, like you do in business class, it's like, here's my production. Like I'm going to do 5 a month. Okay. So by month 12, I got 60, right? And my projections, like I'm projecting that, hey, between the good, the bad, and the ugly, like I'm going to say that 20% of them actually I end up getting customers within this year's time frame, right? So then you start breaking that math down. You're like, okay, I did 60. So that means 12 of them I'm actually having paying clients. I'm going to say the average is out about $750 to $1,000. Let's just take the lower end. That's $750. That's a $9,000 a month income. Okay, at the end of 1 year, assuming 20%, meaning 80% of your projects failed. 80 of your projects didn't work. Well, $9,000 a year, it's not amazing money, but it's a $108,000 gig that you built on the internet. And by the way, some of you guys might be like, dude, hell no, I'm not doing all that work for $108,000. It's like, what you guys understand is I've been doing this for 10, 11 years. I have customers from 10 years ago. So that time and energy, and you're talking about leverage. This is my favorite part about this business is the leverage that it creates once the project's done. And make no mistake, I'm not saying 80% are going to fail. I'm just saying build a projection with the most conservative, crazy numbers weighted against you, and then build your model off of that.